Hey guys, Icarumber here again. So here we are, just about to head into Sector 2 in our Kestrel. Oh, we've got Zoltan and we've got an Uncharted Nebula. It's a tricky one this, because Zoltan shields are a bit of a pain to deal with, but I'm going to risk it anyway over an Uncharted Nebula at this stage. I think it will be slightly better for us. The only reason Zoltan sectors are friendly, if you like, is because they do have more stores in them. They also have some quite tricky boarding events, and they can be really quite challenging. This map is it's pretty terrible. Look, these are our bridge nodes across to this section, and we're pretty stuck because this is just one big dead end down here. So we've just got our last sort of couple of jumps to make. We're going to have to spend most of our time out here. So if I was to jump around to this, yeah, this is a really terrible map because everything's linked through that node there, and this bridge node here. It's always worth having a good look around your sectors, making sure that you know roughly where your plans are to go, because otherwise you get caught out. Oh, there we go. I'm being intruded upon by a Mantis and a Zoltan, but thankfully they're into our med bay, so we can just send our Mantis in there. It doesn't impact our abilities too much, and focus on beating the ship. And again, you can see they've got their missile system, which hit us for 2, but we have at least disabled it now. And that's them healed back up. Now it's worth having a quick look at the enemy ship, because there are quite a few ships. There are times when you'll see that their crew is, you know, particularly weak to some specific issue. Like if they've got loads of NG, you could easily board them. If they've got Rockman who are slow to repair, you can use that to inform your tactics a little bit. I mean, you can see, you know, they had a Mantis sat there repairing their weapons, which wasn't particularly bright of them. We've got 2 anti-personnel drones now, which is overkill with no drone system. And there's a store, so that's a dead-end beacon, but we could jump to these 2 before going back to the store. And it's now, I should really be thinking about upgrading my engines at the minute. The only reason I'm not doing that now is because I know that there's a store fairly close by. So they've got intruders, 4 of them, and a clone bay. So this is actually going to be quite challenging. And they've got a burst laser 2, Zoltan shield, and an ion weapon, so I'm going to be taking some damage here, folks. So what I'm doing here is just using my crew to delay them a touch until I can basically open all of these doors and switch off my O2. Are they going to? Yeah, they're going to damage that. And just in time for them not to take out my burst laser, which would have been a problem. There we go, and you can see they're just slowly dying now, which is what I want to happen. Right, so let's start focusing. Now I've got the Zoltan shields down, I'm just going to start focusing on there we go, make sure that's not going to cause us any issues. Shut my doors. Get the old O2 back on. There you go, I shut my doors just in time there, didn't I? And let's get everyone back into engines. I'm going to try and prioritise engine. Oh. You can hear them recloning the people I just killed, so that ship is going to be absolutely chock full of Zoltan in a moment. There we go. So I got relatively lucky in that round, simply by way of like the ion missing my shields a couple of times, and you know, me being able to actually deal with those borders. Generally speaking, you know, dealing with borders like that is pretty standard. You know, in particular, the important things about that were delaying them in the weapons room for as long as I could until I had the door system manned, so they weren't just going to waltz through my whole ship damaging stuff. And you saw how quickly they damaged my my weapon system. They're taking that one bar and very nearly getting the second one out, but I was relatively confident it would drain with oxygen before they actually took the second bar out there. And yeah, then just carried on delaying them through these doors, venting the rooms that they're about to go into before they get into them, and holding them at the doors. So in the end I was only left with one Zoltan to quickly kill in the shields room, and then I could get my ship back to normal. The other thing obviously was shutting those doors so that the fact I'd vented off my ship didn't become a problem, and inevitably he then took out my door system. Yeah, so overall we did all right there. It wasn't too terrible, and I did take a bit of damage, but nothing too catastrophic. Oh, and I'm stuck between a store and a store with 80 scrap, which is not ideal, but I can't really see another way of doing this. So I'll go to this store first, because if there's nothing particularly brilliant there, then I can go to the other one. And I have, of course, got my anti-personnel drones to sell, which I'll sell one of them. Long-range scanners. I'm not going to buy any crew. I've already got 5 people on board, which isn't bad. I will just buy a few repairs, because it would be a shame to be low on hull later and not have taken my opportunity. But I'm not repairing all the way, because there are a lot of events that do give you free repairs or reduced repairs as you carry on through the game, so you really do want to be taking advantage of those. And if you hit them with full hull, you've missed an opportunity for free repairs, which means you've wasted some scrap, you've spent it out too early. Yeah, this map is doing me no favours here, this sector map. But I do have long-range scanners now, so I know what I'm jumping into, which is always nice. I'm just, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. 1, 2. Yes, I think I'm going to have to... I'm not going to be able to take advantage of that other store, so I'm just going to upgrade my engines. And a pesky auto scout. So by upgrading engines relatively early, you give your pilot and engine guy a lot more opportunity to level up and hopefully miss, you know, these big hitting missiles, 2-hit missiles, and 3 and 4 as you go on into late game. Missiles are a pain until you either get defense drone cloak or have really high evasion, and you can start missing, you know, nearly half of all the shots fired at you. So now I've taken out his piloting, he can't jump away and he can't miss any of my further shots. So you know that every hit is guaranteed, every shot is guaranteed hit as soon as that's done. A little bit of additional scrap. So we're going to get boarded. He's only got, I think, a 1-shot laser, that is. Even if it's 2-shot, I'm not too bothered. And I can happily send my Mantis into my med bay to deal with him. He hasn't got a... Yeah, yeah, I can do that. He hasn't got a clone bay. You do have to watch out with boarding ships when they board you, if they're just going to reclone their boarders and send them straight back to you. But this guy, as long as you actually kill him on your ship, you know that he's not coming back. And this ship doesn't actually look too well equipped to damage me, to be honest. I don't mind if he sends me some more boarders, because I can use them to train up my Mantis. And he can't harm me with his single shot laser either. You occasionally you get them sort of desperation boarding these ships. Occasionally they'll send you an NG over or something to try and take on your 2 Mantis, which is always quite amusing. I really wouldn't mind a teleporter at this stage. With 2 Mantis, you know, this ship gets a two-man teleporter if you buy one, and 2 Mantis, you know, as good a boarding party as you can hope for. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that as we hit later stores, sorry. I call them shops because I'm from Britain and that's what they're actually called. So, jump up to this one. I'm just trying to ride the wave of that to delay it coming forward, because the risk with this map is that I'm not going to be able to actually jump to enough beacons to make good progress as we go. So I should be able to jump to this one, then onto this unidentified one, and then onto here and back out, and that'll be my last 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps basically. And I think maybe that I could have made an extra jump if the map layout was slightly different. Okay, so here's a good advert for upgrading your shields to level 2 early. This is the synced laser and mini beam that can cause you quite a lot of problems. There's no point firing missiles because he's got a defence drone that will simply shoot them down. But you know, I can sit here fairly safe in the knowledge that he can't actually do me a lot of damage. I'm just using my burst laser on auto fire so that I know that I'm not missing any opportunities to fire as quickly as possible. Normally speaking, particularly missiles and bomb weapons, you don't want to leave on auto fire because you'll end up wasting ammunition. Again, he's repairing things pretty quick, so I think he's probably got a system repair drone on board. In fact, we can check that out and see what his ship looks like. Yeah, there you go. It's his system repair. So now he's firing up his FTL. So I'm going to change tack from damaging his weapons, which can't damage me, to damaging his piloting. And he's going to jump, I think. There's not a lot I can do to stop him. Because, yeah, there we go. My burst laser won't cycle in time, so there we go. That was a bit of a shame. I missed out on any bonuses from him. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. Because he had that defence drone up, I couldn't use a missile to quickly damage him. No sensors and borders disabled, so I'm going to have to pay attention. So we've got, what, 4 borders. With a bit of shuffling and rotating, we should be able to take these guys on face to face. God, that's a lot of beeping, isn't it? So, get this guy out, get this guy in, rotate my crew member in there, and that wasn't so bad. The only reason we got away with that obviously is because we had 2 Mantis boarders. In normal circumstances that would have been an opportunity to vent the ship, retreat to the medbay, and get everybody safe in the medbay. They will try and attack doors often on this layout, so you do have to potentially, you know, rotate a crew member in and out of doors and into the medbay to prevent them taking out your doors. Everybody healthy? It was one of the greatest things about the Advanced Edition update was they had the return to stations button, so you could simply return everyone. So you can see I've been playing conservatively. I haven't been wasting my Artemis missiles. I've got 17 still. I've actually gained quite a few missiles, which is useful. You know, you can still take on pretty decent ships. 2 shield bubbles shouldn't really be a problem with the Artemis until you start getting ships that routinely field defence drones, which can stop play a little bit. But there we go, you see, and because we've got all this fuel, I'm quite happy to give them that and get 29 scrap for it. It's not the most amount I could have had, but it's not too bad. And as you can see, faffing about around through this section of the sector has meant that I can actually make my last jump to this distress beacon and then back to the exit happily, without risking too much. And I'll leave my ship where it is for now, because that scrap could come in handy in the next sector if we find a store. There we go. Another Mantis has become a human and Mantis ship. with the addition of Jones. That's pretty lucky, isn't it? You can obviously board to try and put out the fires. That can cost you crew. You can dock. That can also actually sort of do you damage and set fires on your ship. But it's just worth taking the risk to get that additional crew member. And here we go. So we've got 3 Mantis and 3 humans. Intelligent life force. Oh dear, that's a shame. Sometimes that event will give you an NG from a crash site, and sometimes it doesn't. So we've got 6 crew now. We're at the end of Sector 2. We've got 6 crew. We haven't managed to upgrade our weapons at all. We've got our 2 shields in and an extra bar and engines, but we haven't done anything particularly impressive in that respect. But we have got 3 Mantis, which means obviously I'm now of a mind that we should really be thinking about trying to get hold of a teleporter, because with 2 Mantis and a teleporter, we can start to wreak some havoc on enemy ships and also take advantage of the bonus you get. You get more scrap for actually destroying ships, rather I should say capturing ships intact. You get more scrap out of it. So that's what we'll be looking to do in the next sector, as well as potentially upgrading our missile systems a little bit more and making our ship a bit more robust. So join me next time.